Welcome back, everyone, for another installment of The Worthless Mutts. This is where we, or at least I, give my insight and perspective and share information regarding these worthless mutts. I am 100% anti-dog. I hate dog. I really would like a dog-free society. Just because, the data proves and the information proves that dogs just don't belong with us. They don't belong here. There's so much errors with dogs. There's so much faults with dogs. And they just simply do not belong here. If you those games, those worksheets where it says like what doesn't belong here kind of worksheets. If you looked at the whole entire universe and looked at it and at every little aspect of it and asked the question, what does not belong here? The answer would be these worthless mutts. It would be the dog, the domesticated dogs, the dogs that are in these homes. They do not belong on this earth. And that being said, they're going to be discussing something a little bit different than what I'm used to discussing. I'm not sure of a title yet, but the main subject or topic is going to be about, coexisting, more like coexisting with other natural animals, with the human, coexisting on this earth with other natural animals. There are a couple words for it, and one of the words for it, I did kind of talk about it in the previous video. Mutualism. We're going to be talking about mutualism. We're going to be, as we're going through this, we're going to be doing our own research on this subject. And another word for it is symbiosis. Symbiosis. Based on this picture, hope you can see. Symbiosis is an ecological relationship between organisms of different species. For example, mutualism, both species benefits, human and gut bacteria. Communalism, one benefits, the other is unaffected. Cattle, egret, and cattle. And how about this one? And look what we see here. The worthless mutt. The worthless mutt. Parasitism. One benefits, the other is harmed. Ticks and dogs. Yeah, so we're going to be doing research. A lot of things that we're going to be looking at is very new to me. So we're going to be looking at information in regards to this dog culture, but we're going to look at it as how humans, can coexist with other natural animals, and how other natural animals can coexist with other natural animals, other species of animals. Look at this. It says parasitism. A definition examples. Parasitism is a symbiotic relationship in which one organism benefits while the other is harmed. And again, they have the worthless mutt with the ticks. With humans, it's hookworms, which we can sometimes get from these worthless mutts. Aphids and plants, they just don't get along. Cuckoo in other birds' nests. We have barnacles and whales, leeches, and humans. And us humans, We don't get along with every parasite and every natural animal out there. Being apart, is how we benefit from various species. We know we don't get along with leeches and other parasites, so we stay away from those. We try not to contaminate ourselves with various parasites. But when it comes to these worthless mutts, knowing that they do carry parasites, they carry worms and various bacteria, many humans, for some reason, will continue to par with the worthless mutt, knowing that they carry various diseases on them. Oh, they're going to say, oh, we got it shot. But you're still risking your life of getting something. And a lot of these dog nuts are always sick. They're always sick from something, and usually it comes from this dog. Because it attracts various parasites and bugs. You as a dog owner, you're going to grope and touch your dog, so now you're contaminating yourself when you don't have to. It's just, again, dog culture, it makes no sense. But anyways, mutualistic. A mutualistic relationship is when two organisms of different species work together, each benefiting from the relationship. We can't say that. We can't say that about these dogs and humans, because they're always attacking or making us sick. Six surprising symbiotic relationships. The heading says, can you imagine how your life might be without your best friend? They're talking about human best friends, not dogs, who would laugh at your terrible jokes or have your back anytime you got into trouble. As humans, we rely heavily on friends for support, companionship, even when we want to kick back and have some fun. Even many of these dog lovers who are dog extremists, who think dogs are better than people, many of them will still seek human attention. They'll seek human companionship. That goes to show that this dog is not enough. This dog does not, make their needs. This dog causes more problems than anything. So sometimes they need that human companionship because the dog isn't communicating. The dog just sits there doing nothing. The dog doesn't talk. You can talk to the dog, I guess, but the dog isn't going to say anything. Not a peep. You're not going to hear a peep from this dog. But did you know that such partnerships are also formed throughout the animal kingdom? Not just within a single species, some creatures forge lifelong relationships with entirely different organisms in order to get through their days just a little easier. We can't say that about dogs. Can't say that about dogs. But we're going to look at real natural animals that need other natural animals to help them cope and survive. One example is the Nile crocodile and the Egyptian plover. The Nile crocodile is well known for being hyper-aggressive whenever an uninvited visitor steps into their territory. However, there is one creature that the scaly reptilians will not only tolerate, but particularly welcome into their aquatic domain. Incredibly, the Egyptian pullover, aka the crocodile bird, will fly into the crocodile's open mouth and feed upon the decomposing meat stuck between their teeth. Pullover gets not so scrumptious meal while the crocodile gets a little free dental work. Now there is a coexisting partnership between these animals. One does something for the other does something for them. There's no training required. There's no making lies and excuses. They have some kind of, natural agreement. We also have the sharks and the pilot fish. They establish unlikely alliance with plot fish, while the plot fish help to rid the shark of parasites and clean away fragments of food caught between their teeth. How about that? We can't say that about dogs. The coyote and the badger. Let's see what they're going to say about them. Back to the dry land, and let's take a closer look at an unlikely coalition between coyotes and badgers, with speed being their main predatory tactic. Coyotes usually rely on open environments to pursue and kill their prey. However, badgers are diggers, capturing their prey whilst resting in their subterranean burrows. In some parts of North America, coyotes have been observed waiting outside burrows for the ground squirrels fleeing from attacking badger. While both parties rarely benefit from any one hunt, the badger also enjoys success thanks to this unlikely relationship. Sensing danger posed by the coyote, some animals remain in their burrow, allowing the badger to greatly opportunity to catch them. So it's like teamwork. So one runs into a burrow, the other waits to get food, and so forth. We have the hermit crab and the sea anemones. Sea anemones. The Colombian lesser black tarantula and the dotted humming frog. We got the drangles and the meerkats. They, coexist with each other. They have a relationship. So again, mutualism. Again, it describes the ecological interaction between two or more species, where which species has a net benefit. Mutualism is a common type of ecological interaction. Prominent examples are nutrition exchange between vascular plants, fertilization of plants, the ways plants use fruits and edible seeds to encourage animal acids to seed dispersal, and the way corals become photosynthetic, excuse my pronunciation, with the help of the microorganism, we'll call it zoo. So again, it's not just animals that have a benefit for other animals, but it's also plants that have a benefit for other species as well. And that's, how they able to form such a relationship. I spoke about this in the last video of these birds that, not sure if you can see, these birds will pretty much eat bugs or ticks off these animals. And the deer, they have no problem. They have no problem with it. So that's a good relationship. Someone doing something else while they're benefiting from something else, if that even makes sense, what I just said. But yeah. There's also the service relationships. Strict service interactions are very rare for reasons that are far from clear. One example is the relationship between, excuse pronunciation, sea anemones and anemone fish in the family. I'm not going to read all of this, but again, if you look at this, for example, the sea anemones, excuse my pronunciation, they basically become a home, a shelter for I forgot what these fish are called. These I forgot what they're called now. Oh, I Forgot what these fishes are called, but anyways, but they become a home, a shelter for many fish, like clownfishes. I think they're called clownfishes. Yeah, clownfish. Yes, clownfish. So they also become a home for them. So it's not just about eating. It's not just about eating, but also natural animals can, share shelter with other natural animals without like any cost, nothing like as in without any like negativity. Again, we compare this to dogs. We give them shelter, we give them food, and yet they still attack us. They still attack their owners. It's just this never-ending cycle. You can do all this work for them. And it's funny, again, we can do all this work for dogs. We can do all this work for dogs. But in the end, the dog will still attack us. Still, make our lives miserable. You feed it, give it shelter, and it just pretty much says F you. But all these natural animals have, some kind of benefit for each other. And they all live pretty peacefully. Pretty sure there's going to be some kind of exception. But for the most part, they live productive lives. Can't say the same about dogs with humans. It's an entirely different story. Because then with humans and dogs, you got to train the dog. You got to do all the other stuff with the dog. You got to be on top of the dog like 24/7. Not with natural animals. It's like they know their role and they're going to do it. And they stick to it. But with dogs and humans, it's disorganized. Very disorganized. What is mutualism? The term mutualism can be simply defined as a relationship in which both species are mutually benefited. The relationship can either be within the species or between the two different species. The species with the relationship is termed as symbiote. Excuse my pronunciation. Mutual relationship is seen in all living organisms, including human beings, animals, birds, plants, and other microorganisms like bacteria, virus, and fungi. Mutualism is a sort of symbiosis. So again, it's about having these relationships where there's benefits between each other. Like I just showed you, various animals have some kind of benefit. It's like a two-way benefit. Two-way benefit. And that's the role. But again, with these worthless mutts, it's like you do all this work for basically nothing. Time, energy for nothing. And the other day, the dog does not care. There are various types of mutualism, obligate mutualism, facultal, excuse my pronunciation. Oh man, I'm bad at pronouncing these words. Facultative, excuse me, okay. Call it facultative. Mutualism. This is where the partners may coexist without depending on each other. They, however, form a diffuse relationship involving a very mixture of species. For example, honeybees and plants. Honeybees may visit different plant species for the nectar from flower, and these plants will be visited by other number of insects as pollinators. We have the trophic mutualism. This is where partners are specialized in complementary ways to obtain energy and nutrients from each other. For example, the cows and bacteria. Cows cannot digest the plant's cellulose. The bacteria present in the rumines of cows helps in digesting plants' callus. In reverse, bacteria gets food and warm environment which was required for the growth and development. So what we get from this is that, again, this particular I think it's trophic mutualism is where the cows need certain bacteria to help digest food. So again, that's another form of a relationship from two species. We have the defensive mutualism. In defense mutualism, one partner receives food and shelter in return. It helps the partner by defending against herbivores and predators and parasites. For example, the aphids and the ants. Aphids produce honeydew to the ants, which is carried to the nest at night for protecting them from predators and escorts. The aphids are carried back to the plant the next morning. In return, ants are benefited by assembling aphid eggs and storing in the nest chambers to survive the cold winter months. So from this, so the aphids, they produce a honeydew for the ants as food. So they take that food source back to the ants' nest, and in return, they will keep the aphid eggs warm during the winter season. I didn't know that. So again, that's another form of coexisting, another form of relationship between two species. The aphids also protect, I think, the ant's nest. We also have the dispersive mutualism. Dispersive mutualism, one partner receives food in return for helping flower in transferring their pollen. For example, honeybees and the plants. Honeybees travel from one flower to another in search for nectar from the flower, which is required to prepare honey. In return, plants are benefited by the pollination as the honeybee spread the pollen from plant to plant. So the bees or honeybees, they take the nectar from plants, and in return they pollinate the plants. So that's another form of coexisting, how other animals, other plants, they're able to coexist with each other. There are benefits with that. And then the other examples, we talk humans and plants. This is pretty much common sense. We have the oxpeckers and rhinos, another one that you kind of already go through, where these birds will feed off the rhino of bugs or ticks from its skin. So a lot of examples of mutualism here, where different species, they help another species. But at the same time of various species helping another species, that same species will prioritize their own species. You're never going to see honeybees prioritizing plants, as in they're going to push away their fellow bees and only care for plants. You're not going to see cows only care for the bacteria. That wouldn't make any sense. You'll never see ants only care for aphids, or aphids only caring for ants. End of the day, ants prioritize ants. Aphids only prioritize aphids. Obviously, there's benefits between ants and aphids, but in dog culture, in many of these so-called dognut families with children and dogs, oftentimes the dog is prioritized more than the children. The dog is prioritized more than the people in the community. We have dog lovers that will say dogs are better than people But yet, they are living in homes man has built. Yet, they use the resources and sources man has produced or invented. So it's weird in dog culture. In dog culture, it's very weird. Because we don't see such behavior like in dog culture with other species of animals. They're not. I don't see an animal rejecting their own species, their own young, for another species. That only happens in dog culture. And there are many stories. I may have gone over it years ago of children complaining about dogs and saying that their parents maybe not in these words, but they'll say that the parents care more about the dog. They prioritize the dog. In some cases, even when the child is bitten by the dog, they're going to keep the dog in the home. They're going to bring a newborn baby in with the dog and have the dog sit on top of the baby and vice versa. So it's, dog culture, it's strange, very strange. Mutualism, symbiotic relationships. Again, I already talked about the types of mutualism, but we'll go through some if they're new. Again, plant pollinators and plants. So that's with bees, and they take nectar from plants, but in return they spread their pollen on the plants to help them grow. We already discussed ants and aphids, so it's like a relationship. They can, they get food from the aphids. In return, they will protect the aphids' eggs. We spoke about this. We spoke about, the clownfish and the sea anemones. Excuse my pronunciation. Again, this is shelter. This is shelter for them to hide from predators, to sleep, hide their eggs, etc. They benefit from each other. You have the sharks and the remoya fish. Remora are small fish that can attach to sharks and other large marine animals. Remora receive food while the sharks receive grooming. See? Benefits. One receives food, the other is groomed. Just like that. But with dogs, in dog culture, even when dog nuts try to groom dogs, they still get attacked. When dog nuts are trying to help care for dogs, they still get attacked. But other animals, they can coexist with each other. No harm. And again, I'm not saying these things have never eaten one of these things. I'm pretty sure they do from time to time, sure. But at the end of the day, they know their roles. They know their roles. But in dog culture, it's like, they're trying to stick a square shape into a circle hole. And it's not fitting. Lectins. So that is, we have nitrogen fixing bacteria, legumes, human and bacteria. Again, there are good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. Yeah. Okay, we're going over this, but I just want more, maybe.
Various types of relationships exist in nature between different species of organisms. These relationships are collectively referred to as symbiotic relationships or symbiosis.
See, I suck at pronouncing words. Symbiosis. Symbiotic.
One type of symbiotic relationship or symbiosis. One type of symbiotic relationship found in nature is called mutualism. Mutualism is a relationship between organisms in which both species involved benefit to some extent, with neither species being harmed. When evaluating relationships, we must examine the species involved and see if they are both receiving benefits such as food, shelter, protection, dispersal, or any other activity that aids in the success of the organism.
Can't say that about dogs. We give them shelter, we give them everything, love and all that, and they just end up attacking us. Even when you don't do anything to them, they attack you. So it's even when you do something for them and you don't do something to them, you still get attacked.
Many mutualistic relationships involve flowering plants and the animals that interact with them, including various species of insect, birds, and bats. In these relationships, the flowering plant provides a source of food for the animal in the form of nectar. In return, the animal provides a service by spreading the pollen of the flower from plant to plant, increasing the spread of genetic information and provide.
I guess that's all we can listen to. Maybe I'm a student. Nah. But anyways, pretty much said it better than I can. But I want to see more examples of relationships, of natural animals. All right. So we got the coral reef. In ocean reefs, corals share a symbiotic relationship with fish, and the corals provide fish with shelter and protection from predators, and the fish help the corals thrive by eating plants such as seaweed, which can kill corals by taking up the space and light that they need to survive. So that's a pretty good relationship that they have going on. One provides shelter, the other provides food, other helps get rid of, damaging species as well, if that makes sense. We already discussed the clownfish and the enemy. That's all they have right now. They say all organisms play an important role supporting the balance, or supporting this balance. Can't say that about dogs. Dogs really don't provide anything. Like what do they really provide? Like something that we really need, they just don't. Service animals, nope. Police dogs, nope. Military dogs, nope. We have technology for that. But if anything, these dogs are being used more like slaves than like an animal. They're treated more like slaves than like an animal. You train them to do certain jobs, and then they must do it. It's that simple. But we don't get that type of relationship with these natural animals, where they know their role, where it's not like they're enslaved to do it. They do their role, they can leave, they do their role, come back, and whatsoever. It's not like, hey, you have to be here type of thing. Seven types of relationships in nature. Got the symbiosis, mutualism, predation, competition, commensalism, amensalism, and parasitism. So 7 types of relationships. And I think most of them, you would say, are beneficial. Obviously, the parasitism is probably one of the worst ones, which usually affects dogs the most. What is this one? Yeah, so for in this one, one species will destroy another species, and that species that destroyed it is remain unharmed. Such as, for example, this. Try to make it bigger. So, examples are walnut trees release juglone into soil, inhabiting and growth of nearby plants. Penicillium produces the antibiotic penicillin, which inhabits and growth of bacteria. Not sure what that means exactly. Then we have elephants and small burrowing animals. So elephants, they walk on various burrows, which can destroy nests. So if that makes sense, you have species that will spread, their various, substance or whatever, where it can, destroy other plants or animals. Have the elephant, maybe not on purpose, maybe on purpose, where they're walking on burrows or other animals' homes, and by walking on them, it can destroy their homes. 10 examples of animals, species working together in the wild. We have the water buffalo and the cattle egrets. I didn't know what this was. I did not know this was an animal. So when I first read it, I was like, what is that? So I never heard of this animal before. Cattle egret. So again, just like the rhino, they're used to eat parasites and bugs off these animals. The carrion beetles and mites. Ostriches and zebras. Not sure how their relationship works. Okay, because zebras and ostriches are prey for faster animals. They must both maintain a heightened sense of alertness for danger. The problem is that zebras, while they have excellent eyesight, they don't have a great sense of smell. Ostriches, on the other hand, have a great sense of smell but poor eyesight. And so the two work together to stay alert to predators, relying on the eyes of the zebra and the noses of the ostrich. How about that? And it's not like the zebra is giving their young to the ostrich or the ostrich giving their young to the zebra. The zebras will still take care of their young. Ostriches will still take care of their young if they do. I'm not sure if they do. But, they're saying that zebras have... zebras have bad smell, so they can't smell well of predators nearby. While ostriches, they have great sense of smell. While ostriches have poor eyesight, zebras have pretty good eyesight. So both their weaknesses, with both of them having weaknesses and strengths, they both can help one another. We got the Colombian lesser black tarantulas and humming frogs. Already talked about the Egyptian crocodile and pullovers, honey badgers and honey guides, pistol shrimp and gobies, clownfish and anemones, coyotes and badgers. I'm going to read this one again. I didn't really understand it really that much. You might have seen a photo of this surprising pairing traveling together in the night or walking side by side through a sunny plain. I have not. Both are incredible hunters, but coyotes gets into a bind when its prey seeks refuge underground. Badgers, being superior diggers, can better access below ground dwellers. When they do, the two species share meals. So it's like a teamwork here. So these two species are working as a team. One goes underground for the food, yet as the food comes up, the coyote can snatch it and eat, where they can share the meal. But can't say that about dogs and humans, though. Because remember, dogs have this resource guarding thing, where if you touch their bowl of the dish, they're going to attack you. Even when they see you deliberately pouring food into the bowl, and you somehow touch that bowl with your whatever, get too close, that same dog is going to attack you. Even when you eat your own food, the dog sees you eating your own food. The dog sees you eating at a table. Never in your life has a dog ever seen you eat from the floor. But you get too close to the dish, the dog wants to now attack you? What kind of relationship is that? And I don't see dogs hunting for food for their owners. It's always the owners getting food for the dog. And in return, they have to stay far from when they're eating. In return, they get attacked. In return, they get diseases. It's a strange relationship. The meerkats and the drongos. I have never heard of this before. The drongos. It's a bird, type of bird. Drongos. Where are these from? They're from Australia. I'm going to take a break. I do apologize. Sometimes, I don't know why, but when I speak, I just stutter or just don't pronounce words too well sometimes. Other times I do fine, but today it's like I'm not pronouncing things correctly and I'm just talking out of order. So I do apologize if I sound very out of order. But I'm going to take a break and I'll be back with some other stuff regarding this dog culture. So I'll be back in, let's say, maybe 2-3 minutes. We're back again. If you're this far in the video, I do apologize. My pronunciation of many words were very bad, but I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes I stutter and I just can't speak properly. Sometimes, other times I do very well. So it's just it is what it is. But if you came this far, I mean, hope you can bear with my struggles. But anyways, so we've gone through mutualism and touched based on how various animals species coexist with each other for benefits. Obviously there are some disadvantages, but there are some animals, species, bacteria, etc. that coexist with each other because they have some or one of them or two of the parties have some kind of benefits for each other. And it's not to say, again, there's exception. I don't think some of these animals are never attacked by the other animal. I think sometimes they're stepped on, they're attacking. I mean, there's exceptions. I don't think they're never ever attacked. I think from time to time there has to be at least one of those fish being eaten by a shark, at least one time in the history of this world. But with dog culture, it's worse than that. Here we have these humans feeding and taking care of the dog, grooming the dog, loving, hugging, kissing, groping the dog, giving the dog shelter, rescuing the dog, fostering the dog, showing the dog attention, all that nonsense. And in most cases, the dog returns that favor by attacking and killing the owner or the owner's children. And there are some dog nuts that will have excuses for that behavior. They'll excuse the dog behavior and try to justify what the dog did, knowing that it just killed someone that was trying to look after it. And now the dog has to be put down. It just, the relationship with dogs and people, it makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. And I think maybe it's because of the roles that people and dogs play. With natural animals, they all have a role to play, and they play their role. I could maybe do an example. It's like with these fish. They play a role in feeding off of the bacteria or other species of the shark. That is their role. They come and they do that. The shark will provide that for them. That's the shark's role. And they stick to that role. These fish and the shark, they're not like, creating shelter for them. They're not making them a home. They're not like grooming them. They're not taking on walks. They're not calling them best friend. They're not giving them exercise. They're not doing all that crap. They have a particular job or jobs to do, and they do it, and that is it. Same thing with the clownfish and the sea anemones. They have a job to do, and they're doing that role. That's it. They don't do anything else. They just do that role. With dog culture, maybe we're not supposed to be looking after them like their family, as they say. Because many have done that, and it just backfires nearly every single day. For over hundreds of years, we've been domesticating these dogs, looking after them, treating them like family, and in return they attack us out of nowhere. Maybe our roles with dogs isn't supposed to be like that. Maybe our roles with dogs are supposed to be like we treat dogs like the garbage that they are. Hey, we can use dogs and feed them disgusting scraps or disgusting junk, and they'll eat it. And in return, the dog dies. Because again, they can't. Again, with dogs, they somehow they eat everything, but they can't eat everything. And when they do eat everything, they end up getting sick and they end up dying. So the dogs are just strange. But anyways, in dog culture, first thing again, we have another dog attacking another dog. And again, I don't care for the dog. I will use dogs attacking dogs as an example how dogs don't just attack people. They're not just attacking their owners. They're also attacking other dogs. Other dogs for no reason. No reason. Just they see them and they just go and attack them. But let's hear what they have to say. They're not talking, but it's a video of, can't really see too well, but I think the owners or the people are trying to break up the dog fight. And looks like they're struggling. Dog still has one of the dogs. They're still struggling. I think they're struggling. Okay, now they're not anymore. And look at this. This guy is not a pack leader. He's struggling, yo. He is struggling. He's struggling. Oh, that's dog culture for you. That is dog culture. And there's a couple of things, again, we can take from this. Dogs will attack anything. Other dogs. Imagine that. You have people, dog nutters, treating dogs as if they're perfect. They're harmless. But yet these same dogs are attacking other dogs. So we have fur babies attacking fur babies. For really no reason whatsoever. Because I'm pretty sure this is like a park. It's like a park. So it can't be their territory. It can't be something. It can't be territorial. So what are you attacking for? Like, and trying to find a reason for that is just like, mind-numbing. Again, I don't really care for the dogs being attacked. They can attack dogs all they want. Again, I'm just showing you that these dogs, they will even try to devour and kill other dogs. So it's not just people killing dogs. It's not just, or I shouldn't say that. I should say it's not people hating dogs. It's other dogs killing dogs. So, dog lovers will have, a beef with dog haters. But why don't they have beef with dogs attacking other dogs? Instead of having that beef with other dogs, they ignore that dog and they blame another human, as if the human was the one that attacked the dog and the human had really nothing to do with the attack. Dog bites and Shark Week. Whitmore talks about how to run a tough campaign in 2024. Governor said she'd like to talk to those who plotted to kidnap her in 2020. Dog bites and Shark Week. Not sure what this has to do with dogs. I guess because she got 3 dog bites during her first campaign. That's pretty much it. Okay, this was pretty much a worthless article. My bad. Let's see. Turn this off. supposed to be a video here, but I'm not sure where the video went. But we just have a little blurb. This is in San Bernardino County. Woman is who heroically saved an 8-year-old girl moments after she was attacked by a stray dog that had the little girl by the head, is speaking out about the terrifying ordeal. Not sure. I don't see the video. I don't know if this is it. Here we go. This happened back in February of this year. So another little girl is attacked by a stray dog. And the stray dog had her by the head. And this happened early in the morning, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. No one wakes up 7 a.m., thinking or planning on getting attacked by these dogs. I'm pretty sure this little girl wasn't. Her plans was just to play, go out and play. But some dog nut had to bring these dogs in the community, thinking it's going to be their pet. Dog's going to stay inside the house. But that's never the case. These dogs break free and they attack children, again, for no reason. No reason whatsoever. So a little girl was walking with her 2 siblings. In seconds, the situation escalated with the dog dragging the little girl into the yard. Wow. The dog was dragging that girl into the yard. It was Hernandez's daughter, who was looking out the window at the time, who alerted her to the situation, telling her the dog had the girl by the head. I got up and just ran down, and the first thing I grabbed was my broom. Wow. Okay. She explained, ordering her kids to stay inside the house. Hernandez can be seen running in the direction of the 8-year-old and the dog. By the time I got out, the dog had the little girl on the other side of the neighbor's driveway. She said he had her by the head and had ripped off all her clothes. Man's best friend. Man's best friend. These are the things that they still want in our communities, that can go off at any time. Just like that. Just attacking random people anytime. Not even in the jungle this happens. It's never this random in the jungle. It's only this random with dogs, wherever dogs are, period. And there are memes that say that children and dogs go together. Memes that children and dogs go together. Like this one. I'm sure you can see. This is why every kid needs a dog and every dog needs a kid. About this one, of all the animals, the boy is the most unmanageable. The boy is the most unmanageable. Okay. One of the most enduring friendships in history, dogs and their people and their dogs. I'm using children. How about this one? Every boy should have two things: a dog and a mother willing to let him have one. How about this one? There is nothing truer in this world than a love of a dog, and they use a child with the dog. One of a kind people, one of a kind dogs. Yep. And you have these people. You know, look at this thing. Happiness is a warmth. Look at this ugly thing. Yeah. So again, they use these memes or quotes of saying that dogs and children go together when the stats say dogs are most likely to attack children. Like it's it's just weird. It's weird. It's, again, only in dog culture this type of thing can happen. Where something that is known for attacking children, you can still say children and dogs go together. It's only in dog culture this can happen. Anything else, nope, not happening. Dogs attack a child, and they're gonna make a meme like dogs and children go together. Like what? But the stats say dogs are most likely to attack children. Indiana sheriff's deputy dies after protecting her son from dog attack. How about that? Indianapolis deputy in Indiana, described as tiny in stature with a big heart, died Tuesday night after officials say she was protecting her young son during a dog attack in her home. Remember, we just seen memes of, they making these things, and they're implying, they're saying that children and dogs, they go together. Dogs are the only mammals that will actually stare and look into a human's eyes. Wait. Dogs are the only mammals that will actually stare and look into a human's eyes. And don't they say not to stare into a dog's eyes? Because that will initiate an attack. But look what they're doing here. Look what they're doing. The experts say never stare into a dog's eyes. But they're having these pictures, and they have these so-called, children dog, I don't know what to call it, but they have these dogs and children that go together memes. See, in this dog culture, it's the only I don't know what to call it. It's a culture, but it's the only lifestyle that contradicts itself over and over and over and over. It's the only lifestyle that is able to be so reckless, yet get praised for it, yet when something happens, they can get heated for it, but then it's they get praised for it again. It's such a loose, horrible culture. Kids hovering around dogs, even putting hands in the dog's bowl while eating, can cause your dog to be stressed around kids. So why have them near children whatsoever? If these people want to be factual about this, why can't they also be factual about the fact that dogs are most likely going to attack children? They never say that. They still want children to be around them. But it's like, how can you be around something that can kill you? They want children to be around something that can kill them. But they'll have these little things, but no greater friendship exists than that of a dog and the other boy and dog quotes. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here, but she worked for the Marion County Sheriff's Office. She was pronounced dead shortly after Indianapolis police responded to her home on the city's east side. The dog attack was reported about 7:45 p.m. local time. White's 8-year-old son also was bitten and recovering from non-life-threatening injuries. She died last night protecting the most important person in her life. Okay, if this was the most important thing in her life, I'm going to assume that this was her dog. If this was the most important thing in your life, why would you bring something like a dog into the home with your son? Brittany, police said the attacking dog was fatally shot by a responding officer who fired when the dog charged at them. She served as a deputy sheriff since 2007. Okay, they're not mentioning anything about the dog, though. Okay. Spokesperson with the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department said the attacking dog was not owned by White. Okay. But why was the dog in the house, though? And the police have identified the owner. They declined to release further information about the dog's owner. In a statement, Indianapolis Animal Care Services said workers impounded the worthless mutt, 3 additional dogs and a cat from the home. The department said they cannot confirm the breeds without a DNA test, but said all dogs appeared to be a pit bull type. But questions are being asked here. This happened like last year. So they were attacked in her home. How did the dogs get in her home? Why were there 3 pit bulls inside her home? And they're not mentioning the situation here. And like every article, they always say this, but after this article, you never hear an update. Like, you never hear an update about them. Update about nothing. It's just dog attacks, ongoing investigation. That's it. Yeah, but why were there dogs in her home? Why were there 3 pit bulls in her home? Why? They didn't mention it. It's been since last year. But they didn't mention, like, where did these dogs come from? They mentioned that the owner, and they're trying to, like, save face with the owner, but they don't mention, like, where did these dogs come from? 3 of them. How about this? I think this most recent. This happened today, or maybe it was yesterday. Boy 7 scalped by dog in horror attack, facing more surgery as nightmares go on. Little boy was scalped by a dog. His parents bought off Facebook, is still facing more surgery. So they bought a dog off Facebook. And I just made a video about this. I just made a video about these dog nuts bringing home a dog, and immediately it attacks them or someone else. And here we have the same outcome. They buy a dog off Facebook and their child is the victim here. If your child is so important to you, why would you bring something that is so dangerous into the home? He was saved by his family after the new pet sank his teeth into the youngster's head. Again, it's like the recent article, head again. The schoolboy was left needing major surgery to reattach the torn piece of scalp, which was found on the lung. Why are we talking about this? I mean, why are things like this happening? Like, why is it happening again? These people, they just don't learn. They don't learn. You're getting a dog off the internet, Facebook. It doesn't matter where you get it. It really doesn't matter where you get it, but at the end of the day, they got this dog and attacks their son. I don't want to say that. Trying not to view that. See if I can. And they said now it's much better and his school has been really good to him and watched over him. But he's still scared of dogs. As soon as he sees one, he hides behind his mom or myself. That's what everyone should be doing. Hey, I was never attacked by dogs. And I was pretty much doing the same thing. I was afraid of dogs. I hated them. I didn't want to be near them. And it didn't take until for me to be attacked by them, though. I didn't have to be attacked by them. I didn't have to live with a dog. But I knew being around them was just wrong, unacceptable. I didn't want nothing to do with them. Dad who lives with his partner 11 years, Maximus, 14 twins, Vic and Nick, is urging the government to crack down on online dog sales. Okay, now... And what would this do, though? Okay, it's like they would it have made a difference if they had bought a dog from a shelter? No. Online? No. Foster a dog? No. Rescue a dog? No. You help nourish a dog? No, it doesn't matter. So buying dogs isn't the problem. It's dogs that are the problem. It's these dog mothers that are the problem. It's these parents that are the problem. Wanting to risk getting these dogs. Wherever they get it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they get it. They think this guy, think buying dogs from online is the problem. Can you believe that? What difference? There are countless stories of people getting dogs at shelters, having dogs since they were a puppy, and they still attacking children. They still attack the owner. Dog nutters. You're looking at dogs the wrong way. You should not be saying governments to do this. What really needs to happen is these dogs need to be banned and eliminated. That's when no more dog attacks will happen. Prove me wrong. Ban them and eliminate them all. No more dog attacks. If you think I'm wrong, let's try it and see. Try it and see. But this guy wants to do something about online sales of dogs. That's going to make a difference. We already have various laws and leashes and all this crap about these dogs, and yet they still attack. I want to see them get strict on selling. No. What this is like guilt. This is guilt. This is some type of guilt. Like he wants to take it out on something. He wants to take this anger and resentment out on something. But he's probably a dog nutter and doesn't want to take it out on dogs. So what they do, or what he's doing, is taking it out on the government, demanding that they do crack down on online dog sales. It doesn't matter where you get the dog. It doesn't matter. Like The Rock says, it doesn't matter where you get the dog. And it really doesn't matter. But these dog nuts, they just don't get it. This guy's probably older than I am, and he just doesn't get it. Who cares about... Why do these things have these names? Who cares what their names are? It's irrelevant. Why are they telling us the name of these things? Like, what is the name going to do? It doesn't matter. And they paid... How much is this in Canadian? They paid over $345 in Canadian for worthless mutt, and that worthless mutt goes on to attack their child. Now they gotta pay more money for medical attention. Jeez. And like always, they say this: there had been no sign of aggression. They always say this after it attacks someone. Always. And this is pretty meaningless. I mean, you people, dog nuts, you continue to do the same thing over and over and over. And the same result keeps happening over and over again. Always. How many more of you dog owners and these children, how many more needs to die? How many more needs to suffer? How many more? Because every time a dog attack occurs, it's the dog has never shown aggression before. Do I believe that? Sometimes. I believe it. I think in some case it has shown some kind of aggression, has tried to bite, had tried to nip in some cases. And I think some cases it really never showed any type of aggression. And that's the thing with these things. They're just so unpredictable. And it doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter where or when. These things will eventually attack. Maybe not all of them. Obviously not all of them have attacked. Maybe not. I don't know. I really don't know. Knowing that these dog lovers lie too much. But they do attack quite a bit. And if you look at the stats and the records, pit bulls especially, bully bees especially, they're dominating. They're always the ones part of an attack. I'll say 8 times out of 10. Maybe even 9 times out of 10. The attack has evolved a bully breed or a pit bull type dog. And I'm not excusing other dogs. They're all worthless. But the stats show that these things, dogs in general, pit bulls, bully breeds, they're dangerous. They're too dangerous to be in our society. Too dangerous. Too unpredictable. And these dogland owners and so-called parents, they're just reckless and they're just stupid. Their hands down, they're stupid. They are stupid. Why are you bringing something so dangerous into your home with your children? Why are you not speaking up against dogs? Again, you don't even have to own these things to be attacked by them. We had maybe a couple stories already. Or maybe one story of a little girl getting attacked. She didn't know the dog. The dog wasn't hers, but still got attacked on the street. So just because the owner has the dog in the house means nothing. Because the dog has never showed aggression, it means nothing. Got it from online, it means nothing. End of the day, these things are dangerous. And they do not belong in our communities. Because they provide no benefit whatsoever. And speaking of benefits, I think one of these relationships does go hand in hand with dog culture. And it's obviously the parasitism. And so the communism. Yeah, it's this one. The communalism. An association between two organisms in which one benefits the other, deprives neither benefit nor... No. Not this one. Not that one. That's embarrassing. Might have been this one. Yeah, it's this one. So this one pretty much, it's like a one-way. It's like a one-way or competition. I don't know what competition, but it's like a one-way thing. Where dog letters do all this work for dogs. All this work for dogs. But in the end, the dog will still attack. You have people speaking up for them. You literally have people speaking up for dogs. Praising, worshiping them, and that means absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's this one. It's this one. Interaction between two different species in which one species is harmed and the other is neither benefited or harmed. This one fits perfectly with dog culture. So this was a bad video. I think a very, 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 very bad video. I'm going to put it as the lost discussion. I'll probably, make it available in like a month or so. It's just a very bad video. Just my pronunciation of words were very bad. My mouth. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I just can't speak right. Sometimes I do. It's just not a video that I'm happy with. This is not a video that I'm happy with. But I do hope you learn something and able to see that other natural animals and organisms can benefit from one another. They can coexist with each other without getting harmed. Where they know their roles. They have a role to play and they play it. But with dog culture, it's a very disgusting, toxic culture, which is goes. It's a amicalism relationship, where it's just it's a one-way thing. It's people doing everything for these dogs. Everything. But in return, the dog then mauls the owner, mauls the children. I mean, we have these people every day speaking up for these dogs. And obviously it does nothing. Does nothing whatsoever. Alright, hope you learned something again. Go to the dog butcher, another worthless mutts. And please remember that it is okay to hate dogs.